Hey guys, how you doing? My name's Damian Keyes. Thanks for stopping by. So this channel is dedicated to helping musicians, looking at the music industry and also distribution and social media. So if you've not been here before, then welcome. I'd appreciate it if you hit the like and subscribe button because we're doing this practically every day. My background is in helping musicians. It's in music education. I was responsible for setting up one of the biggest music universities in the whole world. And also I have a management company now which helps hundreds of musicians or employs hundreds of musicians every week to go out and do gigs. So my job is effectively helping musicians. So welcome, but today I want to talk about Spotify because Spotify has just dropped the mic. It's just announced that it's allowing a few hundred bands and artists to directly upload music straight to Spotify. Now, whether this gets rolled out amongst the whole of Spotify, we don't know. But it's looking very promising. This is the question that has been asked of Spotify since its inception in 2006. That's all very well what you do, but how do I upload my own music? Just like we can with YouTube. And Spotify looks like they're finally about to answer that question. Now, if you don't know, the way to upload music at the moment is through aggregators, is through DSPs, digital service providers. And there's some massive ones. There's TuneCore, there's CD Baby, there's DistroKid. In fact, I did a video on this literally last week. So this is quite good timing. But it looks like that these will be gone so that you can directly upload music straight to Spotify. Now, why is Spotify doing this now? Because it's 12 years into Spotify. It's not like Spotify needs some kind of new product. Spotify is growing 20% year on year. There's 180 million active Spotify users, and it's predicted to be 210 million by the end of this year, 2018. So make no mistake, Spotify's doing pretty well at the moment. It's worth about $20 billion. And like I said, since its inception in 2006, in order to get your music onto Spotify, there has been a doorman, there's been a gatekeeper, and that gatekeeper is these DSPs, the digital service providers. So if you take these doormen away, all of a sudden we can all upload anything we want. So what does this mean for you? What does it mean for you, the artist or the band? What does it mean for you, the consumer? What does it mean for the labels? What does it mean for the DSPs? What does it mean for the music industry as a whole? So here's a few thoughts. So for you as an artist or a band wanting to upload to Spotify, this is a game changer. So at the moment, there's about 20,000 songs uploaded to Spotify every single day. And that goes into this bank of songs, which is what Spotify is. And at the moment, there's about 30 million songs on Spotify. So it's a crazy amount. So that's about to go up. If all of a sudden the gatekeeper gets taken away and anybody can upload anything that they want whenever they want, that's a game changer. But what it'll also mean is that middleman being taken away, that gatekeeper being taken away, allows you to upload for free, which means royalties will come straight to you without any percentage from that middleman. So there could be some real positives for the artist because all of a sudden you don't need to get to a certain level and pay money to get your music in on what is effectively the biggest music streaming service in the world. Spotify is 40% of the market, of the entire market. That's a big percentage. And all of a sudden you can be getting your music straight onto Spotify with all of its amazing search capabilities and discovery capabilities. This is big news for you. So what does it mean for indie labels? Well, this is another slight punch in the face for the indie label. I mean, indie labels have been having punches in the face now for many years. As technology changes, as the music industry changes, it's not been favorable to a lot of smaller labels, and this is going to be no exception because, again, it's another example of handing even more control straight to the artist. Back in the day, we talk about this a lot, but back in the day, you needed a label because going into the studio was expensive. Not that expensive anymore. You used to have to actually do manufacturing to actually physically make a CD and get that shipped to shops all over the country or all over the world. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of pounds. All of these costs have been taken away as distribution is now free, as manufacturing is not there anymore, and also recording costs are so much lower than they've ever been before. So all of these labels are now struggling with their purpose and what they can bring to artists who already have the control. And this is going to be another shot in the arm. This is going to be another slight problem where artists are going to be slightly more YouTube thinking and just thinking, well, I could just do this myself. I can just put this onto Spotify straight away. So what does it mean for you, the consumer who uses Spotify? Well, I don't think it'll make that much difference. If you think about 20,000 tracks being uploaded to Spotify every single day onto a 30 million track database, you're not seeing most of these tracks. So the reality is it isn't going to make that much difference. The algorithm's pretty solid. The search engine and discovery capabilities of Spotify, where they're at, are pretty solid at the moment. So I don't think it will actually affect your day-to-day use of Spotify. It'll just grow this database very, very fast. So I don't think you'll notice that much difference. But at the same point, it might be slightly different from a search point of view. If you think about when you get to bands like Coldplay or Muse or Foo Fighters or Arctic Monkeys, when it comes to the next level, when it comes to unsigned bands who haven't been signed to a label, all of a sudden there's a big difference. It's kind of like you've got Premier League football and then you've got Sunday League free-for-all. And that's kind of where we're going now, because how many bands in the world are called Apollo or Deja Vu? I mean, there's hundreds of bands all over the world that go, we should call our band Deja Vu. That'll be original. You go on Facebook and there's like Deja Vu UK, Deja Vu Malaysia, Deja Vu Canada. This is going to start to be a problem for that search engine capability, but I don't think it'll be a massive deal. I think it'll just force bands to start to think a bit more carefully about their name, because as you should be doing anyway, when you're starting a new band and you need a new name, you should be Googling, you should be Facebook, you should find out your competition, you should find out other bands with the same name, and is it going to be a massive problem? So I don't think it's going to be a massive difference for the consumer. So what does it mean for the DSPs, the digital service providers, the doormen, the middlemen, the people who up until now have taken your music and put it onto Spotify? Well, I think there's probably some bad smells coming out of the offices of the execs of some of these DSPs, but it's not over yet, because a digital service provider doesn't just upload to Spotify. They will also upload to Deezer and Apple Music, and don't forget there's also iTunes. But the big thing is, if this does happen, and if Spotify does make this game-changing difference where anyone can upload to Spotify, it'll be interesting to see what Apple Music does, because that's the big rival, that's the big competitor. Now, if it sees Spotify's 20 billion stock rise to 25 billion or 30, or what YouTube's worth, which is an estimated 40 billion, then there's a good chance that Apple Music might do the same thing. Now, if Apple Music do the same thing, all of a sudden these DSPs might be a thing of the past. This idea of having CD Baby, TuneCore, DistroKid, AWOL, they might have to change their services, and rather than just being an uploader, they might have to take on a slightly more labely sort of an approach of actually helping and supporting bands. Who knows? Or maybe they'll just disappear into thin air. Who knows? But at the moment, it's not looking great for them, I have to say. And lastly, what does this mean for the music industry and Spotify? Because this is a game changer. This is leveling the playing field, and another example of handing more control back to the artist. And what it means is, when it comes to uploading your music to the biggest streaming service in the world, you are on a par now with the Foo Fighters. The Foo Fighters and a local school band now have the same opportunities. And obviously one's is more well known and has more money. But these bands, everyone's on a level playing field. You can upload your music to YouTube. You can now upload, or you soon will be able to upload your music to Spotify. So this really is a game changer. It's more control being handed back, and it will be interesting to see if labels are going to have to change their business model even more as this evolves the music industry. But what does it mean for Spotify? Because there are some problems with doing this. And number one is, how are you going to police this? Because how's it going to work for covers? There's always been this gatekeeper. There's always been these legalities of what is being uploaded. For example, covers has always been a big problem on Spotify. Just kind of political shitstorms. Don't forget, this isn't just covering music. This also covers podcasts. This covers audiobooks. This covers live jams. I mean, this covers something I can record on my phone and just upload to Spotify. All of a sudden, there isn't this kind of quality control measure. So who's going to police it? How is it going to be policed? Is it going to be more like the YouTube model? So they've got some questions to answer. And so it'll be very interesting to see where that goes. But effectively, watch this space, because this is the inception of it. And that is, we've been asking for a long time, why do we need these middlemen? Why can't we just upload straight to Spotify? And Spotify looks like they're about to open the door and let everyone into their party. And if that happens, it's going to be a game changer. So I need to know your thoughts. I want to know what you think of this. Is this a good thing? Because all of a sudden the opportunity is there for everyone to upload, just like it is on YouTube, no biggie. But does mean the quality control is going to go from Spotify a little bit? Or is this a bad thing? Should it be something that artists aspire to, where they're only putting the best of the best music onto Spotify to make them look as good as they can? What do you think? I want to know your thoughts. So if you can comment down below, more importantly, like, subscribe, come and hit me up. Come and be a part of this community where we are working on the music industry and how musicians can get to the next level. We work on this stuff every single day. So have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.